Blog Talk Radio.
I'm sorry your mom died, but you kept both of my daughters away from me. Yes, I stole your husband, but you deserved it. Now you should feel bad for me and forgive me. No one ever forgives me.
Welcome to Take Two Radio. We are pleased to bring you interviews with people in the entertainment and music industry, discussions and recaps of the 4 remaining daytime soaps. That's The Bold and the Beautiful, The Young and the Restless, General Hospital, and Days of Our Lives, as well as various other shows. For upcoming and previous shows, check take2radio.com. That's with the number 2. And you can find us on Blog Talk Radio, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and other streaming apps. Follow us on social media at Take2 Radio, and thanks for listening.
Hi, everybody. This is David, subbing for Pam on Take2 Radio, Soaps and Review. And with me tonight, I have Vinny.
Hey, what's up, Dave? Hello, everybody. How are you today?
Good. And I'm doing fine. And we have Anthony.
Hey.
The guys are here, and we are waiting on Candace. I'm hoping she's making it. She didn't.
She will. Knowing our Candy Girl, she'll be here in a few moments. I guess I'll be the one. We're gonna start out on a bit of a somber. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. We're starting off on a bit of a somber note today. Over the last year, we've seen a lot of the icons of the daytime industry pass on to a better place. We just recently experienced what I believe was an absolutely phenomenal job of marking Jacqueline Zeman on General Hospital, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But we sadly have to pay respects to 2 more. David Gale, who many of you may know as one of the Joe Scanlons on Port Charles, passed away at age 58. And we send our love and light to his family and all the folks who remember him from his various roles. He did a lot of primetime guest spots as well. He was a good guy, and that might have been a bit eclipsed because we found out a few days ago. Well, I'm getting choked up. We found out a few days ago that Bill Hayes of Days of Our Lives passed away, and Bill and his wife Susan, they will forever be the icons. You know, there's Luke and Laura, of course, and no one will ever take Luke and Laura's place, and lower that in any way, shape, or form. But Bill and Susan have been on Days of Our Lives since the beginning, and just amazing. When I think about a year ago, a little more than a year ago at this time, he was playing Possessed by the Devil at 97 years old. The man is an icon, a legend, and the hole that leaves in the Days of Our Lives family is going to be a hard one to fill over. Memories. There have been some amazing, beautiful tributes from both, the castmates and crew of Days of Our Lives, but also from soap notables across the genre. Nikki Newman. Lord have mercy, my brain tonight.
Melody Scott Thomas?
Melanie Scott, yes, thank you. Wrote a beautiful tribute. I go back to Marlena, a.k.a. Deidre Hall, and she said, being around him was a masterclass in itself, both in acting and in life. Spoke about the love between Bill and Susan, and how they could communicate without saying a word, just the raise of an eyebrow, or the furrow of a brow, could be paragraphs worth of dialogue between the two of them. It's absolutely beautiful tributes. And, I spoke about the possession storyline, and how, there are still scenes that are coming. This man, he loved his show, loved his Days of Our Lives family, loved the soap community, and loved entertaining. And so, it's going to be bittersweet as he comes on screen over the next couple of months. Vinny, as someone newer to Days of Our Lives, what are your thoughts and feelings?
Obviously, I only got to know the tail end of his run there, and he's still got a couple of scenes left to come up. But it was nice getting to see the legacy of the characters that were there, knowing that they were just an integral part of Christmas and the holidays, and with Chad and his kids staying at their house, like it almost felt like they were going to almost give them a bigger role at this point. It's always hard. But you look at somebody who's lived that kind of a lifestyle, or that long of a life, I should say, and you celebrate them. You're sad because you won't see them on your screen, but at the same time, it's like the guy basically worked up until his death. You know what I mean? There's so few people that actually get to do that. And
love doing it. And love
exactly.
doing it.
And seeing the scene with him and his wife and Dick Van Dyke, even though he couldn't participate because it was in a wheelchair, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
David, to be able to play a character for over 50 years, that transcends a character on a screen. For those of us that have been watching Days of Our Lives for more than a few years, this is our older uncle, or even a step grandfather. This is someone who is part of the tapestry of a show that we love, that we take into our lives. So David, what are some of your favorite memories of Bill, either off screen or on?
Oh God. Well, let me see. I go back 1980, 81.
Yeah.
And so I remember Julie was a lot like Sammy back then. And
yes, she was.
But it was, yeah. And he was in a relationship. He was married to her mother, and they had Hope together. And then after Addie passed, so I'm looking at a scene. I don't know. You may not recall her. She's probably before you can remember. Her name was Brenda Benet, and she was Lee Dumond. She was actually the introduction to bring Joe Mascolo in, because he was she was Stefano's first mistress, so it went between Lee and Julie for Doug, and how he handled it. He was a master back then.
Yeah.
He just went off. Torn between a woman of ill reputable
during the anniversary. I'm sorry, go ahead, David.
Yep. But he was, I just call him a master. He was, I was just so thankful for my best friend introducing me to Days of Our Lives at that time, and he was just, it was just like drinking water for him.
Yeah. During the anniversary a couple of years ago, Bill and Susan graced the cover of Time magazine, as well as many others, and they were on the Ellen show. And I remember her asking, what's the secret to the marriage? You guys are, icons in the entertainment industry to last so long and to still seem to be so happy. I forget exactly how she worded it. And he was so cute about it. He said, first and foremost, my wife is always right. And second, I never forget how hot I am for her and how hot her kisses make me. And it was like, you go, man.
Mm-hmm.
But that was Bill. That was, he was inside little nuggets of fun. There were, you evaluate it, you subscribe it for yourself. The wisdom's there, and it's in a way given in a way that if you don't have love, you long for that. That's what you set your bar for. If you're in love and you've forgotten, you remind yourself. If you've lost love, then you go back and you remember those memories. He just had a way with so little words of making you think and making you experience. And I think that personality came through in his acting and gave us there's so many memories. I remember, the island storyline when the reunion, the reunions all happened, and the acting that was done around that period. And again, I got to go back to a year and a half ago, Possessed by the Devil, to be. It was. I just marveled. So we here at Take Two Radio, of course, send all of our love and light to Susan, to the Days of Our Lives family, and to the soap community at large, for Bill and also for David. And I mean, I saw a conversation that went back and forth on X, formerly known as Twitter, saying that we're losing so many. But when you face and understand the history of the television medium, and soap operas are a huge piece of that, these icons, we see them on reruns and experience them, and then we hear about. Bill we saw on Days on a regular basis, but they don't last forever, and unfortunately, as we go on, year after year, we're going to lose more and more, and the fact that Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, The Young and the Restless. Bold and the Beautiful too, but Bold is about half the age of General and Days. The fact that they're still standing is a testament to all of these wonderful people, the writers, the executive producers, the set designers. I could spend the next 2 hours naming what all the people that it takes to put these shows on, but the amount of love that they put into giving us this entertainment on a 5-day-a-week basis is a testament, and coming up with things that keep us engaged and keep us coming back for more. Bill, you will absolutely be missed, and you will be remembered with love.
And I want to share something with you guys. I want you to go back. I'm going to try and find it for all of you. I think it goes back, it was our Valentine's Day episode, I think in either 2013 or 14, and we had Bill and Susan on. And what a delight they were.
Please go search in the archives for that. Absolutely.
Candace.
Hi.
Hi, Candace. Before we get into recaps, we were talking about David and Bill. Our losses over the last 2 weeks.
So the crazy part is, and we also lost Alec Reeser, who was on All My Children and I Want to Be a Soap Star.
That's
so
right.
with Bill Hayes, let's just say this. I have not met him. I never met him personally. But I felt like I did, if that makes sense. To me, he was that cool, funny, smart, handsome, dedicated, talented man that you could easily go up to and say hi.
Oh, hold on.
Okay. Still got it. David, you might have to.
Maybe that's Bill saying hi to us right now.
Right? Hi, Bill. Hi, Mr. Hayes.
Right.
The thing is that it's funny. The earliest memory I have of Bill Hayes actually is not Days of Our Lives related. It's actually Disney related. Davy Crockett. My great uncle and my grandfather used to listen to the Ballad of Davy Crockett. You guys know that song, Davy Crockett. Of course, that's Bill Hayes that sings it. So,
oh, wow.
Oh, you guys didn't know that?
I didn't.
Oh, there you go. The more you know.
Yeah.
He recorded that song.
I didn't know that either, Candace. Wow.
Yeah, he recorded that song. That was his first #1 hit. And, of course, you guys can go on YouTube and hear it. It's literally him. So that's actually that was my first introduction to Bill Hayes. But I just didn't know who he was until later on in life. I can say that he enjoyed this life. You could see it on his face. And when you read, the stories from like William J. Bell and, all the writers and stuff, the word that they use so much for Bill Hayes is human. I mean, yes, he's a human. He was a human. Yeah, that's true. But he had human reaction, human emotions. And, we all say, one day, but you just don't want that one day to happen because you feel as though, like, shoot, he was like 98 years old. No,
yes.
98 is kids play to these folks now. They're living to 101, 104. It's like they're going to be here forever. And that was the magic of Bill Hayes, is that he was young. He was young at heart. He's out there singing, Simply Irresistible. He's, still doing his little jiving. Him playing the devil. Come on now. Like, seriously, like, Dave, thank you for that, by the way. But again, when we heard the news, and it was just right after the Christmas episode, and it just was like, it punched you in the stomach a little bit, and it was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, no. Like, no. And then you started to take it in, and I want to say this, for me, it's not going to hit me to, like, crying and stuff until summer. Because if you guys don't know, Days of Our Lives tapes 5,000 years in advance.
Yeah.
And
they said that there are scenes with him in June. So
he's going to be on. Yeah, he's going to be on throughout until like summertime. So it's we're still blessed to see him in his action, in his mode, and everything. And I kind of caught some heat, as the kids say, on social media when I said, he passed away, and people was already talking about Doug's death. And I said, I get it, but not now, because they still have to process their grieving. They just lost somebody that's been with them for 50 years. 50.
Yep.
It's not like it's somebody, like, regardless of how long it's been and everything, people still need to process the grieving. Deidre Hall earlier today posted, and you talk about somebody that was really close to them, literally close to them. She posted. And I said, just like with us in real life, when we lose a family member or somebody, we have that grieving period. And then we start to figure out what is the next step. I will say this. I trust that Dave will honor Mr. Hayes and Doug when the time is right.
I want to jump in there while you say that and say this. We spoke about it with John Lindstrom. We just, before you got on, Candace, we were talking about, just for a brief moment, Jackie Zeman and how General Hospital, how the Young and the Restless handled Christoph St. John. I really want to ask on behalf of the soap fan community that this be the tribute to end all tributes. You're talking over 50 years. I really ask them to devote more than 2 shows and spend a little bit of money to bring back people. Really, if we got to wait until Christmas time next year because you're going to do it with fabulousness, we will all forgive you. But do it right. Do this man, do his wife who is still with us right.
Well, and that's another thing, too, and I want to say this, is that we got to think about Susan.
Yep.
We got to think about Susan. And by the way, Susan, if you're listening, my heart goes out to you, sweetie. My heart, I'm wrapping you around tightly with my arms of warmth and comfort. Because, and this is why I said what I said on social media, we have to think about her. She's just lost the love of her life in real time. I cannot fathom you going to work and you have to get ready to say goodbye to your on-screen love interest. She's going to have to do this twice. You guys.
Yep.
She's going to have to do the show is going to have to do this twice. As far as them reaching out, look, I think everybody said it, Kristen Alfonso. And I'm going to say this too. It is up to, you can throw money, but honestly, it is up to the actors if they do want to come back. There may be some things that they don't want to come back to, and we have to respect that. I know. Trust and believe. Hope is his only daughter. Jennifer Rose has to be there too. And I say that is that when they get themselves together, when the writers create the story and do all that jazz, reach out to whoever they can get. And because I kept saying, I said, actually last night I said this to myself, which is probably not good talking to yourself, but hey, it's therapy.
Did you answer yourself back?
Yeah, I did actually.
All right. Well, we'll talk offline. I got a couple of numbers for you.
I said, like with Dave, I was thinking about McDonald Carey and Francis Reed and how they did those, again, it wasn't over the top. It was simple. And I was thinking to myself, would they do it like that? And I'm going to be honest, I like what you said, Anthony. I want them to take their time because we are going to still see him around summer. I do not, and let me preference this, do not want November to find out that Doug passed away. I don't want December to find out Doug passed away. Give me a year. I'm also thinking, again, real time here for the people at Days of Our Lives who literally, they went through a lot last year, okay? They went through a lot last year that we're seeing now on screen. We're seeing the consequences of certain things that happen on the screen now. I want to give Susan and her family that time. Do you see what I'm saying? I want to give them that time because now I don't want them to have to go to work and it's the holiday season, and they're reliving this. So that's my thought about that. So again, Mr. Bill Hayes, you sexy beast, you were cute. You were cute. I ain't gonna lie. I just want to say, I'm gonna miss you, man. I'm just gonna miss you, but thankfully we'll still be able to see you on clips, because this past weekend they did something remembering Mr. Bill Hayes. And everything. People was posting the famous Jimmy Fallon clip, which I used to throw shade at Jimmy Fallon at NBC, but it was nice that they did that. They had little things, of course, the Lifetime Achievement Award that they won, and stuff like that. So my thoughts and prayers goes out to everybody who loves him. And Susan, again, my arms are wrapped around you. David Gale. Look, I've known this man since Robin Hood.
Yes.
You remember that? Yo,
yes.
See, I can take it all the way back. See, some of you guys are too young to know. Well, wait a minute. Should I just say that? Too young? Too young, too old? I don't know. To remember that.
Where,
Candace? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was the Aaron Spelling Saturday. So it was these two shows, Robin Hood, and then there was University Hospital. Oh, my gosh, what a time to be alive. So David played, one of the thugs, like reformed cop, undercover people, and stuff like that. That's how I knew him first. And then, of course, him being the second Joe Scanlon on Port Charles, then him being, on Savannah, which WB, I'm still mad at you for canceling. We're talking about that another time.
Me too.
Wasn't he on 90210?
He was on 90210. He played Brenda's Date and stuff like
Brenda's
that.
Date.
When I heard about this, I just shook my head because I was like, again? And he's so young. Like, again, okay, look, I'll be 42 in a couple of weeks. I have no shame about my age, okay? I'm glad that I'm making it. But when I see, like, 50 and 58, I'm like, yo, that's not too old. That's still young. And then the second thing I thought about, I said both Scanlon brothers are gone. Jay, who played Frank, he passed away, a year ago as well, like almost 2 years ago.
2 years
and now,
ago, yeah.
And then
Jay.
David, who played the second, like I said, the second Joe one. So I was like, the hell is going on? And again, we don't know anything. We haven't been told any details or anything. And truth be told, I don't want to know. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just don't want to know these things. But my thoughts and prayers goes out to his family and to the Port Charles family. My God, I'm like, it's just crazy. And like I said, we did lose somebody else, Alex Muser, who played Windsor Harmon's character from All My Children. He played Dell. Yep, Dell. Alex had won the I Want to Be a Soap Star on SoapNet contract. Y'all remember SoapNet? Because I sure enough did.
Yeah.
And, he did other movies. Adam Sandler actually posted a nice tweet. I actually met Alex, and I can honestly tell you this. He was such a goofball, and he was such a gentleman. Because he wasn't used to it. He wasn't used to the soap fans, but he was really chill. He was really cool. And so when I found out he passed away, 50.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and, sadly we did find out, the cause. And I would just like to say this. You never know what's going on in somebody's life or somebody's mind and heart. That's why it's always good to check up on your friends and family. Check their mental, because we just came off of the holiday blues, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're now getting into what I like to call the financial blues. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Tax season, yes, bills, Valentine's Day, spring is sprung, all this stuff. So just check up on your friends. But again, to these three men, in their own way, they made an impact on daytime and us fans, and they will sorely be missed.
Yeah.
Yes, they will.
So we are gonna start talking about our shows.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say.
Hold up, wait. Y'all did y'all talk about the breaking news?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
No.
We were waiting for you. That's right. Go ahead, girl.
That's
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Forgot about that.
Okay. So okay, so I'm gonna let y'all know if my voice goes in and out, it's because I was sick, but I think I'm gonna muster my strength for this. General Hospital fans, how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling, General Hospital fans? Because it was news that broke earlier today that allegedly, at the time, that Dan and Chris were let go of their co-head writing positions at General Hospital.
Yep.
Well, it wasn't a rumor because, oh my God, I can't believe I'm saying this. On January 22nd, 2024, a new era has started at General Hospital with somebody that's already been there for over 25 years, which is Elizabeth Fort. You guys know Elizabeth. Hey, girl. She is co-head writer.
Hey, girl.
However, the shock heard around the soap world, and I'm going to actually let Anthony take this honor because I think he said this. We've been talking about this person for a hot minute now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually funny because I can pinpoint when we started talking about this person's name last March.
Yep. Go ahead, girl. Take it. This is your thing, girl. Take it.
You do the honors.
No. You take it, girl. You take it.
No. I'm going to let you do it because my voice is going to go out.
Oh, boy.
You go ahead and take the honors. The other co-head writer of General Hospital who has previous experiences with Guiding Light, Loving, The Bold, and The Beautiful, and has been there at General Hospital when it was in its heyday era, the 90s. Ladies and gentlemen, Anthony, who is the co-head writer along with Elizabeth?
Anthony?
The Anthony drop.
He's still here. Anthony?
David, take it away.
Let me see if I say this right. Patrick Mulcahy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He's back.
He's back. He's out of retirement.
Hey, am I here? Hello?
Yeah,
you're here.
You dropped, man.
Okay.
No, you were still on the board.
I was talking, and I'm like, why aren't they reacting? Yes, Patrick is back. Patrick
just couldn't hear
is
you.
back.
Yeah.
No, I did a little musical. Da 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 da. It's Patrick.
I literally
I
set
might
it
have
all
hit mute
up,
by accident,
and
I guess.
there was nothing. But yeah, Patrick is back at General Hospital. Okay, let me do this real quick. Vinny, do you have prior experience? Like, how long have you been watching General Hospital?
I've been watching General Hospital pretty religiously since 2010.
Oh, well, welcome to Patrick's General Hospital. You're in for a treat, honey. You're in for a treat.
Yeah.
Let me
Like I told David earlier.
Am I right?
Go ahead. Wait a minute. Let me hear Vinny, and then I'll hear you, David. Go ahead, Vinny.
I was just about to make a joke. I said, like I told David earlier, I'm just happy it's not Vince Russo or Tony Khan.
I can't with you. I got that. Okay. So let me kind of break it down to everybody about this because this is okay. First and foremost, I got to do it. To Dan and Chris, you did what you was told to do and what you needed to do at General Hospital. Right?
Candace, let me jump in there real quick and say, I believe Chris fought tooth and nail many, many times over the last 3 years. I don't think Chris got the respect of a co-head writer. They were told and they were pushed in directions. I can't speak as much for Dan, but, I know Chris fought for storylines that went dead, that were going off the rails, et cetera, et cetera. But go ahead, Candace.
Well, I was going to say, like, okay, so I'm going to try to be really nice tonight about this. Again, when you're writing for soap that has gone through the ups and downs, and let the record show, General Hospital, yes, I know Bold and Young and Restless and Days, but General Hospital has really gone through a lot in the last couple of years. It's not an easy task. And Chris came over from One Life to Live. He was trained, by Ron and them. And he came over, and again, General Hospital is that fast-paced soap. It's like boom, boom, but like you got there's so much action going on here and there. However, as many of us know, the last couple of years of General Hospital, the pacing of their storytelling has been very bad. There are certain storylines that just dragged on forever and a day. There was certain characters, right? Streaming right now. Wait till August. There were certain things that just didn't pop like they were supposed to. Certain reveals that fell flat. Characters kind of be written out of character. Stuff like that. I kind of figured something was happening when they brought Nathan Varney back over to oversee General Hospital's daily, daily, observation. And, of course, there was a writer's strike. And, here's the thing. Nobody's going to fire a writer during a strike, right, because that's actually against the law. Again, like I said, Dan and Chris, you gave fans some things. We're not, we're forever grateful. But when you take a look at certain things like Emmy Award winnings, they have not won Best Show in a hot minute. I mean, yeah, this year they did, but other than that, General Hospital used to always, every time you turn on the Emmys, our stated drama series is General Hospital, General Hospital, General Hospital, General Hospital, General Hospital, General Hospital. They haven't done that in a hot minute. Ratings.
And they haven't won an Emmy for the writing since 2009.
Exactly. And I know a certain somebody who's probably like, yeah, we know. It was us. Shout out to some of y'all who's on there. But, no, it's just,
Candace, let's go in the direction of Elizabeth and Patrick themselves.
Right.
Dan, Chris, you kept us going. You gave us some things like Candace said. And you will forever go down in the annals as writers, and thank you for your service, so to speak. Elizabeth is someone who has stayed true to the historical nature as much as possible on a show like General Hospital. Elizabeth knows the history, knows these characters, knows who sneezed during a funeral in 1994. The archive of Elizabeth is true to the storytelling. Each soap has its little niches of how they tell story, and Elizabeth holds true. And now you bring Patrick in. Patrick is good at the follow-through. General Hospital never lost its shock. General Hospital and Bones, you have to admit.
I just have to do this real quick. I'm going to read off Patrick's resume because I want our listeners to understand. First and foremost, this man has been in the game since, and I joke with him all the time about this, since I was born. Hi, Patrick, in case you're listening. All right. He started out with Texas. Y'all remember Texas on NBC?
Scotty
Baldwin. He was the head writer of Guiding Light. The year that Guiding Light won, they had an Emmy, 82, okay? All right. He went over to Santa Barbara. He went back over to Guiding Light. He was the Blackdale writer of Guiding Light. He co-head writer of Guiding Light in 94. Y'all know what happened those years, 93 and 94. Y'all was there. He was the script writer at General Hospital from 96 to 99. And if you're a true General Hospital fan, you know what happened those years, right? He was the breakdown writer from 98 to 99, as well as the associate head writer. This man was doing it all over there. But, and you know I'm saying it like this, he was at Bold and Beautiful. And let me tell you the story that he did at Bold and Beautiful. I feel like I'm really like representing him right now. If you're a Bold and Beautiful fan, he did the Rick and Maya storyline.
Yep.
Okay?
That was his?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was. He was responsible for recreating Maya and turning that into a blockbuster, must-see television.
Patrick?
Except I got one bone to pick with him. Why did they have a bathtub in the middle of the living room? Well, I can never explain. But go on,
Okay,
Candace.
it's rich people. It's rich people. I'm just saying.
It filmed beautifully. It was a gorgeous scene. But
it's rich
I have
people.
never been in nobody's apartment where there is a bathtub in the middle of the living room, except those tiny
closet
little apartments in New York.
Wait, have you ever been in somebody's closet and there's a bathtub in there?
Yes, you don't remember?
Yeah.
There were couches. There was a desk.
I know.
I'm like,
rich people.
what the hell is this? But no, I'm kidding. Go on.
I mean, I do know somebody who actually has a I'm not saying the person's name, but they have a bathtub in their closet.
All right, continue, Candace. I just had to throw that in
anyway,
there.
But Patrick is, he's not, and I want to, because I saw some people saying, okay, great, old people are coming to General Hospital, there's no new blood. But General Hospital is stuck in a situation where they have disconnected themselves from what has really made General Hospital General Hospital.
Yeah.
And this is why we keep saying, for us, and Vinny, you're going to learn this, hopefully, is General Hospital was the 90s General Hospital was everything. It had the family drama. It had the dynamics. It was not like a
it still had the adventure of the 80s in a different way. It still had the adventure. It was more human. It was more human structure on General Hospital than what I'm seeing now. This is just me. Because when we get into it, I have an issue with General Hospital. I knew I was going to have one. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. But it's just the dynamic, and I'm going to say this to the fans who are saying, oh, okay, what are they going to do that's so much better? The storylines are going to move a little faster. One. And they're going to make more sense.
And not only that, but they're going to connect history to it, because there's a certain somebody who's about to return in approximately a couple of weeks that is going to need some major reconstruction. His name is Jason Morgan. Welcome back, Patrick, to Daytime. Elizabeth, girl, you know what you got to do. You know what you got to do. Frank, leave them alone.
Yes. ABC, leave them alone.
And ABC, hey, how you doing? It's me, Candace. I understand network, because network interference is a real thing. Please, for the love of Agnes, William, Ken, everybody, Erna, for the love of Erna Phillips, please let them do their job. Please.
Candace, before we actually, it's pretty clear we're going to go to General Hospital. Before we go there, I cannot substantiate, but I am seeing it all over the place. Have you heard anything about Jonathan Jackson coming back to General Hospital? That is not actually a rumor.
Here's what Candace has heard.
I see blurbs.
Candace is doing her own investigation. Screw this. As some of you guys know, there has been rumors that Lucky Spencer may be coming back to General Hospital later this year, which I would not be mad at. However, which version of Lucky is coming back? Is it Jonathan Jackson, who originated the role and won 5 Emmys? or Jacob Young, who originated the role in 2000 on up and won a Daytime Emmy, his only Emmy for that role. Well, so far we haven't heard anything else. As our sources,
I only see those blurbs.
Yeah, wait a minute. You notice how I did the quote? Our sources have reached out to both Jackson and to Young. Stay tuned. We'll find out who's coming back. Back to you in the studio.
Tell them what got that started, though. Tell them what got that started.
Well, there was a couple
because
of things that got started.
Spoiler.
It was a certain spoiler saying that somebody from Elizabeth's past is going to knock on the door. So some people were saying it's Jason, and some people were saying it's Lucky. With the recent situation of not having Lucky Spencer at his Aunt Bobbitt's funeral, many people are wondering, is Lucky coming back? So, again, I mean, it would be interesting if Lucky does come back and start paying his child support, because I don't like how they made him a deadbeat dad. But that's another story for another day. Patrick, fix that. I'm telling Patrick and Elizabeth what to do already. So stay tuned, because Lauren does need one of her kids there. So it's not like Lulu's going to wake up anytime soon. Hey, Elizabeth and Patrick, another storyline.
Yep.
Wake up Lulu.
All right, so I'm gonna start off the General Hospital with a quick little PSA. The character of Nina, played by the amazing Cynthia Watros.
Emmy Award winner.
I'm gonna say it. Emmy Award winner, absolutely. Y'all all know I was in the Nina Sunny camp for a long time. Honestly, that. Let's play the behind-the-scenes versus what we got to see on screen. Two major characters had to go for reasons of, COVID, et cetera, and they had to scramble and they had to fix. I like that they gave the life to the Nina-Sunny relationship. I'm never going to unlike that. It is what it is. Most people don't, and that's fine. Here's the thing. If we don't have characters like Nina, who could someday, and Candace, breathe a minute before you respond, who could someday turn into a Tracy Quartermain. Because remember, folks, Tracy has not evolved into the character that she is without having watched her daddy holding daddy's pills, watch her daddy fake die on the floor, without having slept with Tracy did some things, y'all. Tracy did some things. Let's remember real quick. Nina was in a coma for 20 years. She is not a, young 50-something-year-old woman emotionally. She's a mid to late 20-year-old something emotionally, playing in a world of her peers and trying to hang. I'm not justifying what Nina does, but if we don't have a Nina-like character on canvas, then we don't have half the drama that's happening on canvas. So, I'm starting this I'm doing this PSA to say, hate the storyline, hate the writing, and that is absolutely fine. We are not all going to love every story. I know a whole bunch of people that said, "Oh, why are you bringing the devil back? Are you kidding me?" When it comes to Salem and Days of Our Lives. And a whole bunch of us, like Candace and myself, said, "Bring it on." And then when we found out it was Doug first, and then we were all saying, "Oh, it's got to be Johnny. It's got to be Johnny." And then it was Johnny. I'm digressing into another soap, but hate on the storyline, that's fine. Don't hate on the actress. You won't hate her as much as you do if she wasn't as good as she is. And with material that is, I hate to say it, material that is less than stellar. Leave Cynthia alone. Let her do her job. All right. Vinny, we haven't heard much from you, so let's start off with you. What are you loving and hating on General Hospital in the last 2 weeks?
Well, I mean, taking out the stuff from Bobby's funeral, because that week alone, in my opinion, was kind of separated. It was fantastic, just the way they did it.
Yes.
Having the girl who originated the BJ character come back and play an angel, and just the way it all played out. I mean, with the exception of the illogical travel between Port Charles, Amsterdam, Canada, all in a matter of 30 minutes that Carly and Felicia took.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Outside of that. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I thought they did that beautifully. In terms
before you go on, I'm going to add to that. They righted a bunch of wrongs in that week as well. They gave Felicia and Carly moments that needed to have been put on screen. They highlighted Maxie and gave Maxie and BJ the moments. They gave Lucas and Felix. They righted a bunch of wrongs for us. Maybe not the way we would have written it, the way we wanted it, but they gave us conclusions. What is that thing they always add when you break up? It's a closure. They gave us closure in spaces that we have been screaming for. So not only, and I have to say, my God, beyond Christoph, I think this has been the best saying goodbye, tribute, thank you to all of your service episodes that we've seen in the last 5 to 10 years. This was so well done, and thank you for taking the careful moments. You couldn't bring back everybody. I get it. Thank you for giving Scotty and, oh, my God, and Lucy, thank you for giving us those moments. Thank you for acknowledging those things. Thank you for showing us, pieces. I wanted more flashbacks. That's me. Thank you for giving us those closure moments. Go ahead, Benny. I'm sorry, but I just had to throw that in there.
No, you're absolutely right. It was great, and for somebody who, like I said, I've been watching GH religiously since 2010, so I didn't know really much about BJ other than what I've heard through the grapevine and through other podcasts and stuff. But I thought it was beautifully done. I absolutely laughed my butt off at Drew when he fired Nina. And then at the end of the show with Carly walking in, my friend, one of the other podcasts about GH, the 10th floor, they posted on X, Carly should have had an entrance theme for that. And I told him, because he was thinking like Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock or whatever. I'm like, no. I'm like, Stephanie McMahon walking into the room, that's the theme song that should have been playing. But see, my thing, and this is what got some of the people on X all up in a Twitter, so to speak, is that with Nina, when she signed the contract with Julian, it had a no fire clause. Now, when Drew,
it a no fire clause, or was it something different?
Yes. It was a no fire clause.
No, it was a no fire clause, but all that becomes null and void when Drax and Aurora Media came into the picture.
When Drew takes over.
Yep.
Right. That was my thing. That was my retort. Whenever a business changes hands, because Drew and Sam bought Aurora from Julian, all those contracts have to be renegotiated. So if Nina never, obviously we didn't see any new contract being signed, so we have to assume that it was signed and that no fire clause is in there. My thing is, he is acting out of emotion at this point.
He is.
Carly doesn't know a damn thing about running a magazine, let alone a fashion magazine. Nina didn't either when she came in. She basically came in as, just somebody to be a figurehead to a tax write-off for Julian Jerome. But she put in the work, she learned from Maxie, and she was able to turn Crimson into a successful magazine. I'm wondering where this is going now, because you have, you have Carly, who's running Bobby's now, and now she's running Crimson. How is that going to? But yet Nina's still on top of the Metro Court. So how is that all going to work together? I am anxiously awaiting how that story
I'm going to throw this out to you. Okay, back in the day before you were watching, Kelly's was the team hangout of Port Charles.
Yep.
Elizabeth worked there for a brief period of time. Nicholas worked. Everybody, Lucky worked. Lucky worked there because it was his family.
Right.
Everybody worked there at some point in the heyday that Candace was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So what they need to do is Carly needs to turn around and say to her daughter, okay, listen, I need some help here. While I look for someone, you got to go in there and you got to be mama while I'm figuring out how to be a fashion maven editor. And they need to center the teen scene back into Kelly's. The rumors are true, by the way. William Lipton will be back on canvas early, right after March, early April. And so I don't know what's bringing him back because the semester, but then again, who cares about semesters when you talk, when the kid goes out the door one day and then the next day he comes back in and he's 10 years older, we can work with time periods and semesters and things. But, you just named Bobby. You just renamed Kelly's Bobby's. Thank you. Loved it. Loved Elizabeth painted. Kelly's, Lucky, and Bobby saved Elizabeth. Having that place, having that family around her. So bring the teen scene back into Bobby's, make Jocelyn work for the summer, whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's how we fix that. What are you not liking, Vinny?
Honestly, there's not much that I'm not liking.
All right.
I mean, there are some, boring scenes that are there just to kind of forward things, but I can't honestly say that there's anything that I'm not liking.
All right. I got a few I'm liking and a few I'm not liking. David, you're next.
I liked everything about Bobby's tribute. I like Felicia and Carly. I like all that. I like Elizabeth with a sign. I liked Elizabeth and Carly scenes. I like how people put aside their differences. Tracy and Carly, Lucy and Tracy. I mean, they all put it aside for now. I liked everything about the tribute. I am loving Cynthia Watros. I am ready for. I know there's a lot of back and forth about if she's right for this, if she's right for that, but I'm just ready for whatever mess she wants to bring. Regardless who she's with, I think, and I'm so glad that they're finally doing it with her. I think she's going to let loose, and I can't wait.
David, I have to say, to the things you were saying and to highlight that, I'm loving that they gave Carly and Tracy that moment. I'm loving that they allow the thing that I've been annoyed. I'm loving almost everything about Tracy since she's come back. But the thing that I haven't loved is that she was too non-human. And I'm loving that they gave the humanity moments so that we can see it. So I just wanted to add that to your highlights. What are you not liking?
Probably I'm not liking the pace of it all. Everything. Let's take one of my favorite all-time performers, and this goes back to when I was a kid, Mr. Gregory Harrison. I think they should give him more. I think I want to see them give this ALS its real thing. And from what I read, the progression is like 2 to 5 years, and I don't think GH is going to want to invest 2 to 5 years watching him go down.
Well, the strike writers gave us the Easter egg that it might not be ALS. Now, we haven't heard anything else about that. Maybe we'll never hear anything else about that again, and it'll be one of those, dangling participants that, we all wonder about. But Lord have mercy, we're not going to hear much about Gregory until the trial is done for Finn.
Oh, if that
that's true.
All right, Candy Girl, because I'm going to take cleanup out of here.
That's the part I'm not liking too, because, and I told you this on last show, one, they don't give us anything to root for. If the patients were someone we already knew, because we don't know who the Muldoons are.
Exactly.
I like Michael Easton. I want them to write for him, and I'm hoping new writers can do something with him, because I think they're having trouble. I do like him with Elizabeth. I do like him with that. And there are a couple things I did not appreciate is when they put in his past in her story.
Yeah, that was a major epic fail.
Other than that, I had no trouble with them being together, because I thought it would bring Hayden back if they were together.
All right, Candy Girl, let her rip.
Hi. What I like about General Hospital was perhaps my favorite episode of this year. I know the year has just started, and this is my favorite episode. I appreciate them for doing the Bobby episode. I love the fact that it focused on the characters that had history via Bobby, whether it was Bobby the nurse, Bobby the friend, Bobby the family, or Bobby the influence. I love the fact that it was more emotional driven than storytelling, if that makes sense. However, with the story being told, I like how they actually connected it to her past. Obviously, you cannot say teen prostitute anymore. Can't say that. It's now sex trafficking. I love the fact that they went ahead and they did that. I love the fact that Carly had her very fast mini Spencer adventure. She now has her own Spencer adventure. I love the fact that Felicia was there for that. Because another thing is that I felt as though, Carly said something about Maxie, and Felicia said something too. And I said, other than that, I bet the audience doesn't know what the other connection is between Carly and Felicia. And I'm surprised you guys didn't say it on the show. Another connection that Carly and Felicia has is, who was Felicia's brother-in-law?
Tony.
And who did Tony sleep with that Bobby caught him with?
Carly.
They did mention that, Candace.
Yeah,
they
I
did.
know, but I'm just saying, that was another thing too. Because I thought Carly was going to say, well, you slept with my Uncle Luke. But, we ain't go there. But,
they didn't go there.
No, well Lucy slept with Luke too. I hate.
Reason I said that. Well, there was a reason that I said that is because when they was talking about, like Maxie and stuff like that, I was like, oh, y'all going to get all y'all business out there. I said, okay, let's go. Get all that dirt out. But I was just like, okay, this is interesting. I like the fact that there was people that paired up. I like the fact that Alexis had a flashback. I like that Lucy, and that's the thing. It's like I was thinking about the early group.
Yep.
Which was, the OGs was Laura and Bobby and Scotty and then Lucy and then, da-da-da-da-da.
And they worked Anna and Robert in, even though when you really think about it, they weren't part of the Brownstone set. They weren't part of Bobby's major storylines, even though they were on canvas at the same time. And so they worked them in a different way and gave the opportunity for them to be supporting characters to the grieving that was happening. Yep.
Exactly. I kept saying that if they were going to do it, I said they're probably going to have, somebody with red hair, see BJ and Tony, right? So when I saw the girl, when I saw her,
Angela.
and she was like, and when they said Angela Bright, I was like, okay, this is still kind of cute. They brought, somebody that literally was a part of the biggest storyline that General Hospital was ever told. And I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and I love the shade she gave when Lucy was talking about BJ. And Lucy had mentioned when BJ got, drunk some of the nail polish remover, and Angela gave her the look like, yeah, you think? I'm like, okay, what's that about? I loved how she had them tell the stories of how they're going to remember Bobby. The comfort of telling a story of a loved one is okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's where I was like, okay, something's up, because the scene that I think everybody kind of slept on a little bit, it wasn't even words. It was just seeing them together. Was Maxie, Angela, and Lucas.
Yeah.
And I was I sat in another world in another time, right? So then I'm over here thinking the next day, right? I'm like, something's still not adding up, right? I'm just like, okay. So when they couldn't find her card, and then she said, my boss told me to go back home. And I'm thinking to myself, I know darn good well the show ain't about to do what I'm thinking they're about to do. I said, I know they're not about to do this. And then I'm in my head talking to myself again. And when they couldn't find her and they couldn't do all of this, and then Felicia, because like Maxie said, I can't find her. I looked online. And Felicia's like this, baby, sit down. Mama got this. Mama knows about how to find out somebody's name. When she did all this, and then it was the flashback, I'm on the floor crying. We went from not Barbara Jean to, oh my God, it was Barbara Jean. And I'm like, and I kept saying this, shout out to Christina Wagner, because if throughout this whole story arc, the bodies, we talk about Laura Wright, we talk about, Ken Shrine, and Christina Wagner was the unsung hero of those episodes.
Thank you.
And I want to give her, like I said, I want to give her a special shout out, because again, that BJ storyline to this day.
Candace, because I was going to take this in my wrap up, and you're doing it, and that's fine with me. I have to point out to those that remember and those that don't, go look it up on YouTube. The people that say Christina Wagner is the Meg Ryan of soap opera, okay, first off, she gave us, in her way, she gave us the grief, the facial expressions, the hitch and the hiccup in the voice. But you go back and you pull up that scene where Felicia finds out that it is BJ's heart, and she literally falls down the wall and collapses. The anguish between those two women. But Felicia, Christina Wagner's not an emotional actress. Piss on that. Go back and watch those scenes. That woman brought, and I was, a kid. I'm around your age, Candace, just a tiny bit older.
Gotcha.
I remember the anguish, my heart ripping, where she fell down that wall. Bobby, no.
No.
No. Don't you sleep on Christina.
When she came in the hallway, and Bobby is crying. And then she stopped, and then Bobby turned, and she was like, no, not Papa Jean's heart. It's like, and see, this is okay. I'm just gonna say this is what's missing in the soap right now. It's this
woman, Christina Wagner, has grieved this year so much. For her to be able to pull it together, they were good, incredibly good friends off screen. She lost her son. She lost one of her almost best friends in life. This woman has grieved. For her to come and bring it on screen, don't you tell me she's no Meg Ryan.
And like I said,
she is Julia Roberts, if not a Meryl Streep. Thank you. Go ahead, Candace.
Let me just say this, too. And this is why I said a shout-out to Laura Wright, because Laura Wright lost her mom. And Jackie Zeman helped her grieve her mother's death. So this is why I say, like, again, this goes back to something we talked about with Days of Our Lives. Let the actors have their grieving moment and whatnot, because it's not easy to relive all of these emotions. It's really not. But like I said, when you had Lucas, and by the way, General Hospital, I got to give you a little shade, I wish I had more of an insight of Lucas. Because I think people, Vinny, I don't know if you know this or not, you know Bobby is not Lucas's biological mother.
Yes, I did know that.
Just like BJ is not Bobby's daughter.
BJ wasn't her daughter.
I knew that too, yeah.
But she's the only one, she's the only mother that, Tanya?
BJ knows, But see, I wish there was like, when Lucas was talking about certain things. But I'm going to let it slide. But hey, General Hospital, I need Lucas on set. Okay, thank you. But when she said champ, I was like, I'm done. Yeah. I am done. I'm crying. And then when Maxie was looking around and she started feeling her heart, and Felicia comes in, I'm like, call me, just get me up the floor. When they had Elizabeth, and see, this is why, for me as an Elizabeth fan, I've always said this. I feel as though it's sad to say this, they really don't know what to do with Elizabeth on her own level. So for her to do the art again, I was like, oh, my God, I'm getting vibes again. I'm getting those vibes. And when they looked at the sign, I said, what did they do to the sign? And when I saw that it said bodies and you see the little smile and everything, I said, this feels right, because when you think about the show, and like you said, Kelly's was named after Kelly's, Pat Kelly and them, and you had Aunt Ruby take over, and then like you guys said, like over the course of years, people have come through those doors as the owners, waiters, and all that stuff, right? But it's been kind of a Spencer-like function. And when I'm going to cry, like I kept thinking of all those Bobby scenes at Kelly's and stuff, and I said it makes sense. And this ushers a new era, because for over 40 years, we've only known that as Kelly's. Now we're going to know it as Bobby's. And that choked me up a little bit. I said, this is, I don't compare tribute episodes. I really don't, because everybody does it differently. But I feel as though, for me, this is why I said I needed for them to wait until after the writer's strike to do it. Yeah. Because I felt as though they took the time to get Bobby right. Like they got this.
Yeah.
Use again her history, which some shows sometimes they don't do that. But I really do appreciate what they did for that show. And like I said, that is actually my favorite episodes of the year. Now, what I don't like about this
is there stuff you're not liking? Yeah.
I'm going to keep it real short and sweet. I love Cynthia Watros. I love Laura Wright. I'm not feeling this right now. Probably because I feel as though, okay, we're now going into that era where the gloves are going to come off. But I feel as though this should have happened a couple of months ago. So It's the pacing. Because rest assured, I know that Cynthia Watchels is going to bring it. I've seen her in this style of acting. It is called her Amy Dutton Days.
Yep, guiding light. Yep.
To me, with Carly, with Drew doing this, like giving Chris, I said, oh, so your personal stuff is overshadowing your financial corporation mindset. Okay, Drew.
Yeah.
Okay. And like Vinny, you said it. I even remember that. I was like, she got it in her clause where she can't. That's why they had her sign that termination letter. And I was like, okay, y'all think y'all smart and slick, but Nina's about to get you. There's points that this storyline, because I'm like, Nina called them and reported them for what they were doing. They did something bad. Why is Nina being put out to be the bad person in all this? I'm just like so conflicted. The Esme thing, real quick. Yes, I'm so glad she got her memory back. Woo, child, Lord Jesus, hallelujah, amen. Praise so Jesus. Still not caring about it. Nicholas taking the baby. You know. Oh, wait, this was something else that I did like, real quick. I like the Nicholas and Spencer scenes. I like the Nicholas and Spencer scenes.
Me
and
too.
I gotta give a shout out.
Me too, very much.
I got to give a shout out to Adam and to Nicholas because they watched old clips of Nicholas and Spencer's relationship to get a better understanding.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just saying, that's sometimes what you got to do. But sadly, I will say it. What I don't like is the fact they ruined Nicholas for me.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And Laura. I don't know her. I don't know Laura. Who's this Laura? Who's this Pete? Who's this Laura?
That was very out of character for Laura.
It was. That's why when John Liston was on the show, and I've been preaching. To me, this would make more sense if it was Kevin, because to me, Esme is Kevin's niece.
Yes, exactly.
And he doesn't want her to be like Ryan. To me, Kevin is the one who's supposed to be doing this, while Laura is getting upset as to, well, wait a minute, she did A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Yeah.
Why are you defending her? This should have caused a rift between Kevin and Laura. No offense, but it should have. I don't understand why they're trying to make Laura into this person. I don't know her. I really don't.
And I'm sorry, but and I'm going to call it obsession. With the obsession that Kevin had with Ryan and trying to find a reason, why is Ryan this way and why am I that way? Is there something I can do to bring the humanity out of this man that he's so far detached from the Esme piece of it doesn't make any sense? That was going to be my lead off in my thing. So, go ahead, girl.
Yeah, but like to me, like, and I'm sorry, like the Gregory thing. Look, you wasted Gregory Harrison. He could have been Jeff Weber. I'm just saying, could have been. We could have had at least a story. Another question, and this is I'm just going to take some things out. Why is Adam getting more airplay and air story than Dex?
Yeah, exactly. That makes total sense.
Like
do you have intel into that one?
I do. Well, I cannot share it on this episode. But all I'm going to say is, wait till we find out who Adam's father is.
We know who his father is.
We know.
Here's the problem with this.
No, we don't.
He came out.
Wait a minute. This is the problem that I'm having, in all honesty. Dex has been on the show now for 2 years. Okay? We know he's military, and we know that Michael, by the way, Michael, hi. I haven't forgot what you've done, too. You brought Dex in on this. Dex refused to leave the mob life. He likes Jocelyn. You're kind of giving me Xander Smith vibes a little bit. Shout out to Jay Brandon, by the way. But you have not moved Dex in 2 years. Adam came on last year. as the creepy guy. He wasn't supposed to be, obsessed with Jocelyn because he saw her boobies. But you're making him more of a play than Dex. And I said this a couple of times. I'm taking certain things out, but I know that I can't because, well, it is what it is. I said, me personally, in real time, I will not be surprised, especially what I'm seeing now, if we say goodbye to Dex before summer. Like the actor, but they don't have an idea for this character anymore now that we got Adam. Just saying.
Okay. I can't. By the next time we do a show, I can release more information. What we know about Adam right now is all going to turn topsy-turvy in the next 3 weeks. February 6th is going to be very interesting as far as that piece of the story is concerned. Girl, who's Dex's daddy?
I mean, in a perfect world, you know who I would have had than his father?
Mm-hmm.
AJ.
That's who I would have said. That's exactly who I would have said. And have him and Michael be brothers.
Now, here's the thing. Now, since I know how General Hospital is as well, you know who I would have as his mama? If I couldn't have AJ as the father, you know who I would have as the mama?
Please tell me, Faith.
Yeah. It'd be Faith Roscoe.
Me too. Yep, girl. Yep. Thank you. All right. Writers, Elizabeth and Patrick, y'all can have these ideas. We'll take a tiny little check and little walk on rolls.
I ain't taking no tiny check. I'm getting my Venmo. Full balance. Mm-hmm. My birthday's coming up. My birthday's coming up. I want all pennies. Not all pennies like pennies. I want my coins.
Okay. I'm going to grab this mic now real quick.
Oh, Lord.
General Hospital. Elizabeth, Patrick, pay attention. Your predecessors have basically destroyed Nicholas as a character.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Except they have left little Easter eggs. If we suspend disbelief, Anna and Robin have been dead and resurrected about 6 times. Robin was dead and resurrected, So if we suspend disbelief, I am willing to go on a journey with you to redeem Nicholas. You have a talent in Adam Haas, however you say his name. You have a talent in him. The chemistry with Ava is fire, meaning more or less. The chemistry with Spencer is fire. I love those scenes. I was so utterly, I was so pleased with those scenes. What I am not pleased with is what you were doing with him as a character and what you were doing with Esme as a character. Here's the thing. You either need to have her have the epiphany and have learned something from the experience of not having had her memory and battle within herself about what kind of person she wants to be. I don't mind you bringing on Heather Weber to egg her on and things, but don't bring Heather Weber on to be the justification that she's just going to be psycho and then we're going to find a way to redeem her again in a year from now. Because that story has already been played with now. It's already been played multiple times within this one soap opera. If you're going to do Esme, you need to do it right. You need to find a way to bring Nicholas back on canvas. And if you want to make him face his penalties, God bless, I'm fine with that too. But I will suspend disbelief, get him out of the trouble, and have him go through the emotion, have them do symbiotic going through the emotional journey of how to be a good and better person based upon who they are and their history and what is in their DNA. Okay.
Anthony, real quick. Hey, Anthony, what about this, though? What about this? What if that's not really Nicholas?
Wait, say that again?
What if this is not Nicholas?
Oh, I'm fine with that, too. I am very fine with that,
when
too.
I say it's not a mass reveal or anything. Oh, no. This is somebody who is trying to take over the Castan Empire within. And
has been working with Cyrus, pull it together and have a backdoor relationship with Cyrus all this time because all that Austin, Mason, we're never going to hear about them again. Is anybody looking for Austin's killer? Are we ever going to hear from Mason again? No, we all know it.
No.
It's one of those
Next
dangling storylines that we're never going to hear from again. So have him behind the scenes, having been working with Cyrus, and he's not even Nicholas. I am fine with that, girl.
Yeah,
very fine with that.
He looks just like Nicholas, and like it's sort of like the Prince and the Pauper. The you know what I meant, Piper.
Girl, please forgive me. Who was Nicholas's doppelganger way back in the day?
Who Connor?
Connor, thank you.
Yo, wait a minute. Hold up. Oh. We just solved it. Ladies and gentlemen, here on Take Two Radio, we just solved your problems. The Nicholas that we're seeing is really Connor Bishop, who is getting paid from somebody to take over Nicholas's life to destroy within the Cassadine Empire.
Okay, I gotta ask, where's Charlotte? And don't anybody answer me because I don't really care, except where's Charlotte? Y'all started this storyline where Jake is going to have some memories and things is going to happen. Where's Jake? Where's Charlotte? Now, here's my real bone.
We'll see them in June. June.
Yeah, when the teenagers are out of school and watching again. Absolutely. And then Cam will be back at that point. Oh, I can't wait till Cam comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on to the other soap. Okay. We don't have much time.
Yes, we will go on in 2 minutes. I got one more bone to pick because everybody basically said the things I wanted to say. And I said this already. I am so very happy. Could there have been more? Yes, but it doesn't matter. I am so very happy with Barbara Jean's send off. There's one more bone to pick. Nobody's touched on, and I'm going to touch on it. People, Elizabeth, Patrick, please figure out what personality Trina really is and who she really is, and do the same thing for her mama. I am so tired of swinging back and forth with Portia and with Trina. I love Trina. I love Sprizz. But I am so tired of the pendulum back and forth. Is she understanding? Does she get it? Is she a bitch? Is she gonna? You gotta pick a lane and go with it with these two characters, because at this point, when Portia comes on the screen, I have my hand on the fast forward button, and I'm getting to the point when Trina's on the screen, I got my hand on the fast forward button too, ready to pull the trigger.
You know they're getting ready to do the whole thing with Trina and Nicholas, probably go in Paris. Something happens to Nicholas, because we all know that.
He needs to take a break.
Because Nicholas is, filming Netflix. But here's my question. I feel as though they really don't know what to do, because sometimes, things are in shambles. But I just have one question. And Elizabeth and Patrick, by the way, Patrick is the one who gave y'all click, click, boom, by the way, because somebody asked me just now. Patrick, Elizabeth, hi, it's me, Candace. # where's Taggart?
Thank you. Okay, we really do need to move on. Let's go to CBS. We'll save days for the end. We haven't heard much from David. David, talk to us about Bold.
Oh, about Bold? Well, let's see. Well, Xander's causing trouble with Thomas and Hope, and he's trying to get Finn to think more about it, and I think he's just there to cause trouble. I don't think he can do much. I know, on the other hand, Liam saw the ring around Hope's neck, and he was being snarky with her there. I'm hoping they get Hope and Thomas and a real swing of things, and keep Finn out of her way. I'm glad that Eric is better. My question is,
No. Yeah, David, before you continue, I am glad Eric is better too. But where is the fanfare around that? Go on. I'll explode in a minute. Go on, David.
Go on. My question is, though, that do you think that the powers that be kept what his illness was too close to the vest because they didn't want us to know what it is really he had, because I really didn't know what he had. I mean, they do one thing that says it's one thing, and then...
No, I think that this is a storyline that they wanted to wring as much emotional investment out of it as possible, but they really didn't have an outline that they were following. When you build and craft a story arc like this, you need to have a beginning, a middle, a red herring, a flip, a trip, and then an end. And I think they had the beginning, and the fact they knew he wasn't going to die because he's not leaving, thank God. Thank you so much. We're going to have a little bit more John McCook, but they didn't fill in the middle parts that they needed to fill in.
Yeah, because I think that it made me a little angry more than anything else, because I didn't know what was really going on. Just that he was sick.
This is the okay.
That's
so
it.
David and Candace, tell me if you agree with me or not. Vinny, you as well. This is the kind of storyline that should have been centered around an anniversary or around some sort of special event. They should have pulled in people like Leslie Kay, and so many others. This is the kind of storyline that could have been celebrational in its heartbreak for Bold and the Beautiful. Mm-hmm. They set it up. They wrung our emotions, and then they left us to hang and dry out in the sun without any real emotional payoff for it. Vinny, go.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's like you have a month's worth of programming centered around one family, one story, but yet, honestly, it felt like a letdown. Like, you you have the surgery, you have the experimental procedure, Ridge is wrestling with the decision, going back and forth, saying my dad was ready to give it up, he's fine, and going back and forth. And it's like, okay, he made it through surgery and just now he's home, and like, yeah, it's happiness that he survived, but
where's Bridget?
It could have been so much more.
Where's Bridget?
Yeah,
where's Felicia? Come on. If you're going to do the storyline,
should have been there.
Yeah, and with all the Zooming that was going on during the pandemic, people were Zooming into soap operas. That there are ways to give us the emotional payoff that this kind of story deserves. This is not a story that should be in what I call off year for Bold and the Beautiful, because it is. It's an off year for Bold and the Beautiful. This is the kind of story that is supposed to arc you into the next phase of what Bold and the Beautiful is going to be, and it fell completely flat, in my opinion. Candace.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to my phone. Okay. So there's a couple of things that I feel about this storyline. One, I think this was a storyline that was set up because, and I'm just going to say it, this is just me, I don't know anything, but when they were uncertain if the actor was going to renew a contract.
Yeah. Because, case in point, there's a guy over at the other CBS show. They did the same thing with him. When where you just didn't know which way they were going to go at until the actor renewed their contract. And I think that was the case in this situation. Because, again, we were over here, and even me on Soul Party and me, everywhere else, was talking, saying, if John McCook decides to leave, we understand that the storyline was supposed to go a certain type of way. But, again, because of something that may be going on behind the scenes, it turned the story into a different, went a different direction. And I stick with that. I really do. I don't know anything. To me, it's just you started the storyline out of the blue. And it could have went to, a special look back at Eric Forster, the man, the myth, the legend. You could have done a fashion show
where Lauren and Sheila could have finally saw each other. Yeah, Bo, I'm still mad at you for that. You could have did all of that. I think the icing on the cake for me was obviously seeing Susan Flannery, ladies and gentlemen, in the best 2 seconds of daytime ever. Thank you. And I'm like, okay, so he is going to live. But even when I said, like we found out he's healed, I still don't understand why Bo can't do a Dallas with the War of the Ewings. Instead of the Ewings, it's the Forresters. Because Rich made a decision. Where's the other kids at? To me, okay, Bo, this is, again, you said the kids was on safari. Okay, you was probably trying to reach out to a Leslie, to a Tracy, to a Justin, a Jacob, to get somebody to come back. You had Ashley over there. She's still over there, by the way, because I saw she's still posting videos and stuff. You could have really made this a family dynamic, and I just don't understand why you didn't go there with that.
And again, I'm sorry, but I have to be. I'm the one that beats this horse every time we get into these kind of storylines with Bold. Again, it was the perfect opportunity to bring up Rich. You ain't his son biologically. You could have brought back. All right. So because the other two shows have got some really good stuff going on. Candace, girl, you always know you are Young and the Restless girl. So talk to us, girl.
So on the Young and the Restless, the only story that really matters to me, to be honest with you, is this Claire storyline. Oh yes. Claire has been, quote-unquote, deprogrammed from Crazy Aunt Jordan, who was in jail. But she creeping. She's inside of Claire's head. She calling and saying, you made the wrong decision. You chose the wrong side. You were supposed to be with me. First and foremost, Colleen Zink better be up for guest performer this year for the Daytime Emmys, because if not, I'm going to have an issue. Because when she said, look at me, hey, it's always been me and you, you're going to listen to me. I was like, is she brainwashed? Like, she controls her like that? You got Claire over there trying to figure out, where does she belong? Does she belong with Victoria? Does she belong somewhere? She don't know. She's so confused and lost. She just wanted to know, if she wasn't Victoria's daughter, would Victoria be doing all of this? Good question, Victoria. Victoria is like saying, once Claire is okay, she is going to be a part of this family. Victor is like, no, the hell she ain't. Not today, Satan. Nope. Victor's the only one that's kind of like seeing right through everybody right now. And and here's the thing about Nikki. Poor, sweet Nikki. So Victor, okay, so last time we was here, we say Jordan held Nikki and Claire captive. Nikki pretended to be drunk, but that's when Victor found out she had been drinking at the ranch, because, they have nothing but booze there. So Claire was given a drug to, like, kind of relax her, a sedative. And I'm like, dang, Jordan ain't she ain't playing. So anyway, so then, they got out. But Nikki, because of her post-traumatic stress disorder, what she said in the meeting, she can't give it up. Once you have a taste of it, it's stuck with you. So homegirl has been behind closed doors getting drunk. She ended up at the GAC, the athletic club. Nick was there, but Nick didn't see Nikki. Nikki was flat out drunk, but Lauren did. Lauren helped her out and everything. So now we met her new sponsor named Steph. Not Steph Rollins, but Steph.
Yep.
Okay. Played by birthday boy, because today is his birthday. Happy birthday, Brian Gaskell. So Steph is like talking to Nikki and everything. And by the way, I'm keeping my eyes on him. I think he's shady. I'm sorry.
Me too.
I think there's something off.
Me too.
There's definitely something off.
There's something off.
Okay.
What?
Wait, I gotta say this. The weird little chick mannerism and the facial expressions give it all away.
You know what? Welcome to Jordan's son.
Oh. Oh.
He somehow is. I'm sorry. I feel as though he's something connected to Jordan.
I do too.
Me too.
You can't shake a feeling like this. And Josh, if I'm wrong, I need to be right on this. Okay, Josh? I mean, seriously. Because it's like he's too invested. He's coming off a little, not like creepy, but it's just there's something about him.
But it is kind of creepy, though, if you think about it. It is kind of creepy.
I mean,
you know, it reminds me of Dawn of Day. What was that guy from Dawn of Day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Shiloh.
Shiloh,
yeah.
yes. There's a Shiloh-esque about the performance that's being given. You know something. There's something in there.
There's
And Brian,
something there.
Brian, welcome back, baby. Brian, welcome back. You came on full force. I'll give you that. I'm not that invested in you yet, but you came on full force.
I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something.
Me too. I'm seeing something.
So guess what else, y'all? Guess what else I'm seeing? And I can't believe it. Daniel Romalotti. I thought we taught you better than this. You grew up with your father, but your father ain't no different because we'll talk about him in a minute. But you got Heather saying, "Oh, let's relive the good old times." And so, they slept together.
Yep, they did.
Okay, public service announcement. As a Daniel and Lily fan, I am really upset about this because, and here's
I am too, girl.
I am too.
This is going to be a thing for me. As much as I love Young and the Restless for giving me Daniel and Lily and Cricket and Danny, I have an issue, though. It's nice that you brought them back together. It really is. It warms my heart and soul. However, it is when you guys did it, it was 2023. It's now 2024. I need a reason why this go-around is different than the previous times. I need, as a fan, I need to be reinvested in the grown-up versions of these couples. And when I say that, it's because Daniel and Lily, I fell in love with them when they were young loves, right? Just like Elizabeth and Lucky.
Right there, Candace, hold up.
Yeah.
Because both of them have been through a tremendous amount of pooping. I can't say the S word. They have been through life experiences, and the rating that's given to them at the moment is not – they should be talking about the poop that they have been through, and that should be building, and that's all left out. If we're supposed to assume it, then give us a little Easter egg here and there that leads us to believe we're supposed to assume it. You can't just pop them back and the chemistry is there without addressing the fact that they have lived lives, married other people, had children, supposedly killed people. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened.
Well, here's the thing. One couple is doing that. I'm going to use Danny and Cricket. If you are a fan of Young and the Restless, 80s, 90s, you know darn good well what I'm about to say. Danny and Cricket was the Ken and Barbie of the show, okay? She was the fashion model. He was the rock star. I was going to say Jim, but I can never think of that guy's name. So I went for Barbie and Ken, okay? And then, he made some decisions. She stayed. She made some decisions. She became the lawyer. She married Paul. He, went ahead. He became a father. There was this woman named Phyllis that derailed their whole life. So the question has always been, if Phyllis was not there, would Danny and Cricket still be together to this day, or would something else happen? Okay. They've been through a lot.
Oh, that's a lot to think about.
Right, because you got to think about it. Phyllis, because Phyllis has derailed two couples on this show. And it's like, and we'll get to Phyllis in a minute.
The second couple, you mean Nick and Sharon?
Sharon, yes.
Yeah.
And
okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Yes. So with Danny and Cricket, let's be honest. If Phyllis was not in Danny's orbit, would Cricket have married Paul?
Nope.
I'm asking the question.
Nope.
Would she have married Paul if Phyllis was not even in the picture?
Not to say that somebody else wouldn't have come along for either one of them to provide another spoiler, but without Phyllis, the Cricket-Paul relationship would have never gone beyond friends that respected each other, became colleagues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. I mean,
because
let's be honest.
Paul was the shoulder that Cricket ran to for stability, for the world still turns, the world is still here, even though my world has been exploded like one of those planets you see in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Or Pluto. Yeah. But
or Pluto.
Yeah, shout out to Pluto. We miss you, little planet. We miss you. Anyway, that's the thing. That's always been the thing. So now, years later, Cricket is now single, and Danny is now back in town. And it's sort of like, okay, is this the sign of starting a new romance? But you still got the same person over there who is trying to derail because she doesn't have anything better to do. So you have to show me that, yes, I'm reliving the 90s, but I need to see something in Danny, not Cricket, not Phyllis, but Danny. When Daniel, Heather, and Lily, let the record show real quick. Daniel and Lily got together. They were together, but they really got closer after Cassie's death. They were each other's first real love.
Yeah.
And then they grew apart, a la Kane, a la Amber, a la da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and they drifted apart. And then you had Crazy Lucy, Sheila's daughter, by the way. I'm sorry, Daisy.
No, but real quick,
Candace,
because you can't just say a la Amber and leave it at that. Amber left a wake of destruction that was epic.
Well, I'm trying because we don't have much time. So we got,
Yeah.
Because here's the thing.
No, but we have to highlight the Amber piece of that was
Daniel
epic.
Daniel and Abby, Lily, Joe.
Oh, Daniel and Abby was a sneeze. I'm sorry.
To stop it. But then you have Heather, Adam, Heather and Cam. But Daniel and Heather literally, and I had to think about this. I was like, how long were they together? And I was like, they was a hot minute. I probably blanked out because I had issues. So now it's like, okay, you brought Daniel back. You kind of was teasing that something major happened between him and Heather because Lucy kind of was like, you did say some certain things here and there, yes. But with Heather, I'm like, something's not added up. And I feel as though, Josh, you dropped the ball on Heather. Because to me, I always thought Heather would be the one to act like her Aunt Patty Cakes a little bit. I thought that when you saw Lily, too. I feel as though, and again, Crystal Khalil, I believe she's had her baby now, okay? That derailed the storytelling. However, again, what I saw is, so just because Heather and Daniel was together for a long time, and they had their issues, but Daniel and Lily was also trying to work to being together. I don't know. Again, you needed to show me why Lily and Daniel worked this time around instead of me being a fangirl. I'd be like, oh, my God, my couple is back together. No, you need to let me fangirl because I'm in 2024, they're adults, and this is what I like.
This is the real-life problem. They don't know how long any heirs are going to stay. So they're writing in the moment, not writing the Bible, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're writing for as long as they have them. And I get you're in a rock and a hard place, but you know what? Write anyway, and we'll pick up the pieces as we go along.
Yep.
It's the same thing with the Tucker storyline, too.
Oh,
honestly. You know, you just keep throwing things at us to see what's going to stick. And David?
Yeah, I mean, my thing is with it is Heather is in love with the man that Lily created, not the one she created. She likes the new version, and that's all on Lily. It's not on Heather. So I think Heather might show her claws once Lily resurfaces. Or
that may be one of the best statements you have ever made in my tenure on Take-Two Radio, folks. I have not thought of it that way, but the minute you said that, I realized, oh my God, you are right. She's enamored with who he is now because of Lily, rather than who he is at the core of the person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, David, look at you sneaking in with some intellectual crap on Take-Two Radio.
I
You
can't.
go, boy. Vinny?
With Y&R, I have to say that I'm intrigued by the entire story that they're telling with Victor's family, with the Newman family. In terms of Daniel and Heather, I'm honestly just learning about their relationship, but it almost feels like, honestly, the daughter, forgive me, I don't remember her name, is kind of setting that up. I don't know
Lucy.
whether
Lucy?
Yeah. I don't know whether or not that would have gone through either one of their minds, except for, I believe it was New Year's Eve when they fell asleep on the couch and Heather kind of cuddled up to him, and maybe she was the one that kind of put it in Lucy's, and then the whole thing, oh, well, Mom's on her way over to make grilled cheese, and then we're out of cheese. Like, I don't know. That just kind of seemed a little hokey for me. But I'm still, like I said, I'm still getting to know them because I don't know their history.
All right, I'm going to do my cleanup thing, and then we're going to. Here's what I have to say. Young and the Restless, Josh, powers that be, you've always lived very well with Nicholas in the space that he is. He's not Victor. He's not Nikki. He's in this weird space, and then there's Victoria, and then there's Adam. Okay? Nicholas, Nick we can hang with. Just, make him shirtless as much as possible, but that's just a side note. Victoria has become the Elizabeth, General Hospital reference. Victoria has become the Elizabeth of the Young and the Restless. You need to define who Victoria is, what Victoria wants, what her we can't go back and reclaim her from yesteryear. But you've got to define who she is and what she means going forward. She cannot continuously play the back and forth, ping pong game that she's playing as a character, or we're going to lose all the way. God forgive me, but basically the way we've lost our investment in Phyllis, we're going to lose our investment in Victoria too. Clean this up quickly. Any other final thoughts on Young and the Restless before we move on to Days? All right. Hearing none, Vinny, this is your show. Bring it on. What are you loving and hating with Days? Fill us in on the last 2 weeks, and what are you loving and hating?
Well, you know what I'm loving with Days right now is I'm absolutely loving, especially after today's, it's almost like they finally found the correct story for Harris right before he's ready to leave.
I know. I know. Thank you.
Like, even with this morning and him talking to Clyde, I'm like, this is where Steve Burton shines. I'm like, it's, I'm so excited he's come back to GH, but it took so long to get him finally integrated correctly in Salem that, like now it's, the scene with him and Clyde was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. I loved how
I'm hearing
he was
Emery.
interacting.
I'm seeing Emery Real next year, but go on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love what he was doing with Lucas and Kate, and how, I thought it was a little bit overboard with Lucas, when he and Kate first met with him to see if he would be their informant inside, and he's like, let me just put on that because I don't want to be seen as a snitch in here. Like that was a little overboard. Why would you call your mother a loser? But outside of that,
there's so much history there, though.
Okay, well, okay. I'll take your word for that.
There's so much history there.
I'm getting I like the scenes between Chad and Everett and Leo last week, where that was just it was funny. Like Chad and Everett kind of have this working respect for each other, and they're trying to feel through it. Chad's still upset that Stephanie's not with him anymore, and and Everett wants Stephanie to be with him, but she's not. She's not ready to pull that trigger. I like the uneasiness at times. I did like Chad and Alex talking. When Chad was out playing pass with his son, and they start playing monkey in the middle. I liked Alex coming up and asking for advice. I was not expecting Teresa to overdose or to fall off the wagon and get high. I was not expecting that because Tate's in the juvenile rehab facility for 30 days where they can't visit them. I wasn't expecting that, but that's only because I don't know the history so much. But I did like that Alex called Brady, and they were, they were kind of working with Jada to find her. In a nutshell, that storyline is, I was kind of wondering why Kate and Holly were kind of put on the back burner so quickly, like Holly going to Italy while she's still in a coma, and Kate going to the juvie facility. I'm like, okay, they've been there for like 3 months. What, are they like done? But I've heard they're coming back, so that's not. Their run is not over, but in a nutshell, Deja's been okay. I'm just kind of happy that they finally found a groove for Harris, only for him to leave in a few months.
Okay, there's so much that you said that I want to respond to, but I'm going to hold off because time-wise. David, go ahead.
Okay. I'm enjoying we only have a minute and a half. So I'm enjoying this Tate and Holly story. It's one of the best since they had JJ shoot Theo. That's my...
Yeah.
Candace dropped.
Okay.
Her phone
so
died.
Then I'm going to close this out. I agree with Vinny 100%. They finally found Harris's groove, and we already know he's going. So the investment value is not lost, but it is a lot less than it would have been if they had found this groove 6 months ago. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to say one thing. I love Greg Ricard. I do. I love Greg Ricard. But it's time to send Leo away for a while. Come up with another story to bring him back. But it's time to send him away. Huh?
Yeah. I just said you can't miss him if he doesn't go away.
Okay.
That's true.
On the Lucas front, my advice to Ron is go back to the Sammy Lucas Austin Carrie days and pay attention. Go back to looking at some exchanges between Lucas and Kate from back in those
10
days.
seconds.
Because you need to fix Lucas. You need to fix Lucas. We'll be back in 2 weeks with some amazing storyline conversations. Thank you for always tuning into T2 Radio.
Thank you,
Good
guys.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Get connected with Take-Two Radio on Facebook or Twitter at Take-Two Radio. For email updates on future shows, follow at Blog Talk Radio. For previous episodes, upcoming guests, and more, visit Take2Radio.com.